Good afternoon, Westwood, and welcome. We are at Zavarian Brothers Baseball Field as Westwood's field took some rain overnight. It didn't bounce back as good as the field here, and luckily we have Zavarian here in the town of Westwood for the Wolverines to keep their game for today, taking on a very good King Philip team today. So King Philip coming in at 8-0 on the season, the Wolverines 4-1. A terrific non-league matchup. These teams certainly know each other well. They played each other in the playoffs a couple years ago, went into extra innings. King Philip came out on top in that game, but two teams that have seen each other over the years. It's been a great non-league matchup for both teams. And like I said, when you have teams that find a way to find each other in the playoffs, particularly late in the playoffs, these are good matchups for both. And Evan, hard not to think about also hockey, with the overtime thriller between the Wolverines and King Philip this past season. Just, always going to be teams, no matter what the sport is, that are always somewhat in the mix when it comes to chasing after a state championship.
Yeah, these are two teams with a lot of crossover. We've covered quite a few games between King Philip and Westwood this year, and there's a lot of history there. You mentioned the hockey games. I believe we did a I want to say soccer game. I don't remember if it was boys or girls soccer, but it was definitely a soccer game that we covered a King Philip game for. So, these are two teams that are familiar with each other, not just in baseball, but across all sorts of sports. And, this is a team that is very competitive, and they come from a school that's very competitive. We saw that especially in the hockey games, that 1-0 thriller in the playoffs in overtime for Westwood win. But, it should be a good match today. And, a little different, where, like you mentioned, we're on Zavarian's field. We are on turf and not dirt. Like you mentioned, the rain came last night and field wasn't usable today, but, great that we have Zavarian in the backyard to
Big time.
help, but also, should be interesting to see how Westwood adapts to this, Hey, we're not on our home field, and we got to get used to it, got to get used to the turf, and, we'll see how they adjust here.
Absolutely. Many of these Westwood kids grew up playing flag football on this field. This is kind of that secondary field. If you're not on the main football field, they have multiple games on this field. I've seen a Westwood girls soccer game here. They played Ursuline here a couple years ago, so a field that has many uses, but a fun field nonetheless. Really, it's rare you see turf baseball fields, but they're starting to become more popular for this very reason, where you don't see too many rainouts. They bounce back pretty well after a storm. The drainage and just the ability for the condensation to dry up faster is far better on these fields than the wet fields, the grass fields. Westwood too, the baseball field, not much of a wind tunnel. It's covered pretty nicely by trees there, which is great to watch a game, but not great when it comes to drying up a field after some rain.
No, you got to get ready for, weather in New England especially can be unpredictable at times, as we've found. So, I think like you said, we're going to see turf pop up here.
So Wolverines going with non-standard lineups. They're missing a few guys today, so the Wolverines in the outfield, Chase Longo in right field, Chase Warren in center field, Brady Dumais left field, and then the infield, John Bertone at third base. That first pitch is fouled off. Brendan Senjic at short. At second is Danny Leahy at first, Jack End, and then Luke Chandler on the bump with Drew Donegan behind the plate. But guys that we've seen over the years that can play multiple positions. It's a great curveball there for strike two. But it's great strength to have when you can have players that play multiple positions. You got pitchers that come in. Who's going to take over the open spot? How do you rearrange position players? Whatnot makes life a lot easier when you can have players that play multiple spots.
I mean, we see it across all Westwood sports. Next player up, next man up.
Yep.
Are you available to be for your team when they call? And we're seeing that today.
1 ball, 2 strike count is outside, so even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Lufty, the left fielder for King Philip. And that ball is hit up the middle, and it's going to make its way through the infield for a single. So Lufty with a leadoff single for King Philip, which is going to bring up Johnny Prater. So a sharply hit ball just went over the glove of Chandler and then right through the opening over second base. The number 2 hitter Johnny Prater. That's a ball outside. Good stop by Donegan to keep that in front of him. Not only keep it in front of him, he almost threw it to first too. It's a pretty athletic move there by the senior captain. That ball is outside. Oh, called strike on the outside corner. So 1-1 for Prater. Chandler checking in on first. Lefty back safely. But a nice view we got here today, Evan. Not often we can get a view directly above home plate, but also a little elevated as well.
And now we got lucky with this rain in a way. Silver lining is we got
and that ball is popped up. It is
up.
In play. Leahy going to get under it. Gets the first out for the Wolverines.
But no, like we were talking, what a view we got. You can see right over the plate, can see the pitches. And, you know, also what we're seeing right now is Lefty taking good leads here.
Yep.
And I think, you know, Chandler's going to have to watch that.
So, as you said, big lead on first by Lefty. That was a curveball fouled off by number 3 hitter Drew Herlin. A nice curveball there by Chandler inside.
Looks like Donegan's having an issue with his helmet.
Yeah, it looks like one of the straps came off. I think they're just going to switch out the helmets, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that strap looks like it might be a, it's going to take some time to put that back together. Puts the new helmet on, looking like Johnny Quinn with the hockey style mask back there. No balls, 1 strike. That's an off-speed pitch, and in there for strike 2 call, catches the outside corner. So Chandler throwing some curveballs for strikes here early, which is a good sign. 0-2 pitch, that is high. Fastball from Chandler. Had a little extra on that one. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. That is on the ground. Senjik gonna tap the bag, throw to first, double play. Gets the Wolverines out of the inning. So a nice double play there by this sophomore shortstop to get the Wolverines out of the inning unscathed. Westwood 0, King Philip 0. So Cam Hassenfuss, the pitcher for King Philip. Kicking off the bottom of the first, John Bertone, junior captain, going to lead it off for the Wolverines. John playing third base today. Wolverines missing some players, and he's on the hot corner today with Drew Donegan playing catcher. That's a strike outside corner. Cam Hassenfuss, the pitcher for King Philip. That ball is outside, so 1 ball and 1 strike for Bertone. Bertone wearing blue helmet, I believe it's Gators helmet. That's a strike outside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's cool to see. I think a lot of the players wear their own helmets. Where back in the day you would have like 5 helmets, you just throw whatever on, you know. So it's players comfortable with their helmets. It's great to see. That is outside. Oh, I think it was off the ground as well. So 2 balls, 2 strikes for Bertone. That's fouled off, and that's heading towards Clappertree and lands safely over the street on grass. An interesting dynamic. I've driven by this field numerous times thinking, there's had to have been a lot of car balls. And now we're actually here for a game to see how many foul balls there are, but that one is fouled back to the backstop. So good battle going on by Bertone. 2-2 pitch. That is outside, so full count. A great battle by Bertone. He's in a 1-2 count. He's hit a couple foul balls, good eye there to get into full count. He's a great player on the base path. He always gets the catcher and pitcher's attention. And that's a swing and a miss. So Hasselfist gets the strikeout for the first out. And it's going to bring up Brendan Senjic for the Wolverines, shortstop. A nice double play to end the top of the first.
Expecting big things for Senjic this season. We saw him have a big season his freshman year last year, really coming onto the scene, having that game winner against Ashland, and we expect big things from him here.
Yeah, he had a great season last year, great football season this year. A linebacker that could go sideline to sideline, get in the backfield, fill gaps too, as well as pass cover on running backs. Did a terrific job. That is tracking towards the shortstop. On to first in time. A nice play there by the shortstop for King Philip for the second out. There's Drew Herlin, the shortstop. So 2 outs. Danny Leahy coming to the plate. He's at second base today. We normally see him typically at center field. But what versatility from him. He's in the 3 spot today in the lineup. I've seen him at number 4 as well. He's had probably the hottest bat for the Wolverines so far this year. And quickly, Hasselfist gets an 0-2 count. That is in play down the third base line, and then in time for the third out. So 1-2-3 inning for King Philip, and after 1 inning of baseball, Westwood 0, King Philip 0. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back for the top of the second.
There's magic associated with high school sports that's hard to quantify. Legends are born.
And they put it in the back of the net.
Memories are made. And smiles come across our faces. These are the moments we talk about forever. They become part of our history. They define us. At Arch Orthodontics, we know how important it is to engage with our community, how critical it is to empower these defining moments. And in a sense, we define our community too. We build confidence. We make the smiles that light up the field, the rink, the gym, and the court. And we do it with a dedication to excellence, just like our athletes who inspire us every time they put on a Westwood uniform.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Cadillac of Norwood, where luxury meets performance, and Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Leading off for King Philip is Tommy Gately, number 7. Ball inside, 1 ball, no strikes. It'll turn out to be a pretty good day after overnight rain, early morning rain.
Clouds are starting to go away. Maybe we'll get a little sun here before the end of the game.
Yeah. 2 balls, no strikes for Gately. That is foul back. I actually shook my head real quick thinking it was coming up here. I'm a rookie.
Not used to this angle.
No, I'm not. Reminds me of the lady up in Toronto where they were surprised that she didn't shake her head when there was a foul ball coming right back to the backstop. Didn't flinch. And then they showed her a day later That is inside, so 3 balls, 1 strike. They showed her a day later and another foul ball, and then she sarcastically was like, oh, you know, I'm supposed to be afraid here, but classic MLB clip. 3 balls, 1 strike. It's fouled off. It's gonna get a full count, so good job by Chandler to get the count full. Get 2 strikes on the batter. Chandler not afraid to throw a curveball in a 3-2 count, so keep an eye out if you see some movement there. That's a fastball, fouled down the left field line, gonna get out of play, or just hit the fence. A 3-2 count for Gately. Chandler's got the signal, the pitch, and that was a curveball, strike 3. Just like we said, not afraid to throw the 3-2 curveball and gets the strikeout looking there for the first out.
Well, we saw it too in between innings here. We were watching him warm up, and you know, one of the things you mentioned was that curveball cuts late.
Yeah,
that cuts right at the plate. That's hard for a hitter to hit.
It is. It starts outside the strike zone, and especially if you're a lefty, you know, that's far away from, it's pretty good distance from you. If you're a righty, it's almost looks like it's going to be an inside pitch, if not, you know, coming towards you, you know, to hit you. And if you're throwing that for strikes, you're going to get a lot of guys looking on strike 3. And he does that. We've seen a lot of freeze strike 3 calls, you know, where the batter is just kind of there looking, and you know, they know at that ball had some movement. That chopper heading towards third. Bertone gets the glove on it. Throw onto first. Gets the out. So some nice sure hands by Bertone. Usually the catcher, and you know, has been a terrific catcher. Looking pretty natural over there at third base. What I like there, he cut off Senjic. So cutting Senjic off there allowed for the throw to get there in time. Senjic could have certainly made a play. That would have been a lot closer to throw to first to try and get the Gately in time, or get Astorino in time, excuse me. So Kevin Hine, the batter for King Philip. And there's that curveball. That looked like it was going to hit him, inside type pitch, and then hard break to catch the piece of the strike zone. A 1-1 pitch. And gets the strike called as well. Chandler starting to get into a groove. Both pitchers impressive so far. Oh, just low and at a hard break at the end as well. The curveball is working nicely for Chandler so far. Two ball, 2 strike pitch, and there we go. Another curveball looking, strike 3. Luke Chandler dealing so far. After 1.5, Westwood 0, King Philip 0.
And Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Luke Chandler is on deck. He's up next to that in the lineup.
He is. So nothing. And it looks like he's having some feedback from the umpire. And you know, these umpires are great. I think they're giving them. These guys know baseball, and I think a lot of times they're giving them tips. You know, on, hey, you can be more efficient with this, so you can do that. I talked to one of the umpires, I believe the first base umpire is the one I talked to before the game, Mike Barbuto. He's a scout for the Mets. So, you know, they've certainly seen a lot of baseball, and they have a pretty good, eye for players, and, you know, what makes for a good player, and just, you know, the different nuances with how they play the game.
So a busy second inning for Luke Chandler here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Luke Chandler for a moment.
Please
because he is going to my alma mater of Husson University. He will be a Husson Eagle this upcoming fall, playing baseball under head coach Chris Morris. Give you a little background on Chris Morris. Chris Morris started in 2019, the 2019-2020 season, so his first year there was no baseball tournament for the North Atlantic Conference, or the NAC. So there was no champion crowned that year. But since then, 2021, 22, 23, and 24, all Husson. 4 years in a row, and 1 pitcher of the year, 2, I believe, players of the year. under that program. It's a historic program. You main coach John Winkin in his retirement years, or his later years in coaching, he coached at Husson University. And this is a historic program, a very big program at Husson. Baseball is one of the bigger sports there. And Luke Chandler going to be pitching for Coach Chris Morris. So wishing him the best of luck and hoping he continues to keep the tradition up for the Eagles.
Absolutely. Well, he's looked sharp so far today, and he is now going to get his first look at with a bat in his hand, and certainly a kid that can hit the ball a long way when he connects. Remember that home run last year versus Walpole?
It was funny too, that home run we were talking about beforehand.
Yeah.
Had anyone ever hit a home run in Russ Downs Field? And you had told me you hadn't seen anyone.
I hadn't.
And then a couple innings later, we saw our first.
The first pitch catches the strike zone. Hassenfis, he's been sharp as well. So great matchup between the pitchers today so far.
Yeah, we have a great pitching battle going on today, and I think that's going to be key here for Westwood and King Philip. How fresh can your pitchers stay? We haven't seen them go too deep. They've only had one or two batters where they've each gone over 5 pitches and got to a full 3-2 count. So staying fresh, who stays fresh longer?
Chandler able to foul that one off. Hassenfis doing a good job of getting ahead in the counts too. He gets first 2 strikes and, keeps Westwood batters on their toes. Bertone did a good job battling back, and then he got the better of it with the strikeout. And then gets a strikeout here, strikeout swinging for Chandler. That is the second strikeout for Hassenfis. Hassenfis, a legendary name in the town of Norwood. Billy Hassenfis was a great hockey player on the 1965 Norwood team with Richie Hebner, baseball legend.
Wonder if there's any connection there.
And Billy's, I believe Billy's son-in-law is Peter Lavalette, the hockey coach, Westfield hockey legend, and then been a hockey coach all over the place. Rangers, Nashville, Carolina, won a cup with Carolina. Flyers. And I bet you he'll get some looks for the potential open Bruins position. Fouled off there by Donegan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right back to Hassenfis getting ahead in the count. Locating a fastball nicely. He's got some good zip to it as well. He's got 1 ball, 2 strike count for Donegan. And gets the strike 3 call looking. So Hassenfis, his 3rd strikeout through 5 hitters. Coming to the plate for the Wolverines is first base Jack End. Ball outside on the first pitch. Jack, a senior for the Wolverines. I believe he's going to be attending the University of Miami. Heck of a school to be going to. He's going to have some nice weather. Probably won't have to worry about snow until, holiday break.
Jack End has the right idea. Go somewhere warm, go somewhere a little nicer.
He knew what he was doing. We'll be thinking about him come December, January, February. Strike call down the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike. If Jack gets on, Chase Longo on deck. That ball is outside. So 3 balls and 1 strike. See if Coach Whalen gives the take pitch here. And a ball inside. So End is going to get on first with Longo coming up to the plate. So when you see in the pitchers like this, you're thinking as a coach, got to get a runner to second.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get. It might be a 1-run game, might be a 2-run game. So we'll see what we see on the base paths from End. Haven't seen him run, so I'm not sure speed-wise, where that is, but certainly, going to be the type of game where trying to get that runner to second. A single will score, hopefully. If not, get a run at a third where you can do a safety squeeze. Coach Whalen been doing that for a few years, does a terrific job with that and playing small ball. We saw Sasha Marino do that the other day, who's batted .460 last year. Ball towards the right side of the infield, played by the first baseman, and Longo able to work his way around to get on safely. So the Wolverines do get the runner to second. You're going to have first and second with 2 outs. Brady Dumais coming to the plate. And I think that's going to be an error on the first baseman. An error on Aiden Estorino. And we got runners on first and second. Brady Dumais up at the plate, looking to get a runner across with a single.
Brady Dumais, the big hitter in hockey. We'll see if he can get a big hit in baseball.
Brady
here.
Dumais had the assist on the game winner the Wolverines had over King Philip hockey playoffs. Haspis gets the swing and miss there. So he's been terrific getting early strikes, and no different here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Curveball is going to be outside. Dumais playing left field today for the Wolverines. And that pitch is low, so it's going to even the count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Great eye by Dumais there. Held on it just enough.
Yeah.
You know, you're in a position where if you can get one runner, one score out of this, you know, that's going to be big for Westwood. Don't want to leave me.
2-2 pitch. That is strike 3 looking. So 4 strikeouts from Hassenfist. Gets out of the inning unscathed. And after 2 innings, scoreless still. Westwood 0, King Phillips 0.
There's magic associated with high school sports that's hard to quantify. Legends are born.
And they put it in the back of the net.
Memories are made. And smiles come across our faces. These are the moments we talk about forever. They become part of our history. They define us. At Arch Orthodontics, we know how important it is to engage with our community, how critical it is to empower these defining moments. And in a sense, we define our community too. We build confidence. We make the smiles that light up the field, the rink, the gym, and the court. And we do it with a dedication to excellence, just like our athletes who inspire us every time they put on a Westwood uniform.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Cadillac of Norwood, where luxury meets performance, and Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back, folks. That is a high hit ball down the left field line. Dumais tracking it, gets under it for the first out. So 1 pitch out for the Wolverines to get Leo Dowling out. Nice play there by Dumais to track that down the left field line.
Big by Dumais, and also when you're in a pitching battle, it's about keeping your pitcher as fresh as possible.
Oh, for sure.
A 1 pitch out, you can't ask for something better than that.
So it did confirm that Hassenfest is related to Billy Hassenfist from Norwood. That is the grandfather of Cam Hassenfist. And, Peter Lavalette has mentioned the uncle. Pretty cool. And a sharp hit ball down the right field line's going to land. Longo tracks it down, the throw into second and hits the cutoff play. He's going to keep the runner at first, but a hit for Vinny Menendez to get on base. Nice hit ball down the right field line, went with the pitch, and gets on base with 1 out. He's going to bring Brady Hurlin to the plate.
Big for Longo to keep the ball in front of him there, not let it get past you, preventing errors and keeping that runner at first.
Oh, 100. You know what? It's better to be slower to getting to the ball, but knowing you're setting your footing, where he's got a cannon. He's got a great arm. He's a pitcher that comes in the pitch. Checking in on first. It was a later thrown ball, you know. Typically we see those fastballs to first base. That's the softer one, but you know what? Those are accurate throws. When you take a little off and you're just making sure that the lead is close to the bag. That's a curve ball. Great job by Donegan to stay in front of that. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Herlin. That pitch is outside. So 2 balls and 1 strike.
Big on Donegan here, keeping those balls in front of him. If one of those gets by, you got a runner going to second easy.
Yeah.
Then you're in a tougher position.
Big time. You got to definitely put your body on the line when you got runners on the base. That one is fouled off, and this one is heading towards Clapper Tree. Hits the street and a telephone pole. Evan and I made sure to find a parking spot as close to school as possible, which is furthest away from the field. Curveball inside.
He's going.
And the runner's going to get to second safely. So a stolen base by Menendez gets to second with 1 out. We got a full count for Brady Herlin.
Good steal by King Philip there. Caught Westwood sleeping.
Well, it was a smart pitch to go on. If you're running on a 2-strike pitch with some, where you can afford a ball here and there, you know that there's probably a good chance that curveball's out. And they've seen Chandler. He's been locating the curveball. He also has, curveball. In those instances, you're going to throw more curveballs towards lower, or, at the plate, try and get, a hitter to chase. And it was a good pitch to run on.
Yeah.
So we got first and second, 1 out. And the leadoff hitter, Alex Lufty, up at the plate. Takes an early strike, so no balls, 1 strike, and now 2 strikes. So 2 quick strikes for Chandler.
I believe his first at-bat was a single.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
A guy who can hit. A guy who can, with a single,
right up
drive
the
in
middle.
a run.
Well placed, just missed Chandler's glove. So it was a well-hit ball. That ball moves pretty quickly on these turf fields. That pitch is outside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Lufty. Double play would be nice for the Wolverines. They got 1 in the first inning. Brennan Senjik tapped the bag, threw to first in time for the double play to get out of the inning. That one's fouled. Got to give credit to these King Philip hitters. They're doing a good job battling, getting some pitches, additional pitches thrown by Chandler.
Yep.
The quicker you can get into a bullpen with just pitch counts, things like that, always helps out the favor. And a strikeout caught in it was a foul in the catcher's mitt for the strikeout. So great job by Donegan to keep the glove on that for the out to get Westwood's second out. A foul tip strikeout. That's what's great about having the camera this close. You can hear the nick off the bat. First pitch curveball outside. Number 2 hitter for King Philip is Johnny Prater. He fouled out to Denny Leahy in the first. That ball's fouled on the right side of the backstop. So Chandler misses on those first pitch. Does a good job getting that second pitch strike. Nice location too, an outside corner. Getting a lot of foul balls that help out in the count. That's a ball on the ground to shortstop. Senjik just going to tap it over to Danny Leahy for the out.
Big for Westwood there. Get out of that inning unscathed with 2 batters on base. You can't really ask for a better way to get out of the inning.
No. So great job by the Wolverines. They get out of the inning. So after 2.5, still scoreless. So Chase Warren, the freshman, kicking it off for the Wolverines here. Chase, the center fielder for Westwood. He's been impressive as of late. Saw him get into the Hopkinton game on the road. Some great at-bats. And a great Westwood name, great Westwood athletic name, Warren. Brother Thomas Warren had a fantastic senior year football-wise. He's battling some injuries right now and hoping to see him soon. And Warren with the single up the middle. That was a well-hit fastball just to the left of the second base bag to get a leadoff hit for Warren. And that's exactly what you want to see when you're head coach Brian Whalen. You got your freshman that you're putting in there, and he's getting on base. And now you got the starting lineup, or excuse me, the top of the lineup up at the plate.
What a hit by Warren, too. That was
Absolutely.
a liner. That's some heat on it.
He had a line on that, showing bunt. Warren looking to get into second safely, and he does. Wow. So some wheels on Warren as well.
You see why Coach Whalen trusts the freshman enough to put him in the lineup.
Oh my goodness, what a steal.
What a bit of offensive energy this team needed right now. In a game that's been all pitching, all defense, all fielding, you need a little bit of offensive explosion, and you're getting it out of Warren right now.
What a steal by the freshman. You get a strike called there, so 1 ball, 1 strike count for Bertone. But you got Warren on second with the top of the lineup right now for your Wolverines. Bertone, Senjik, and then Leahy. Got Coach Kevin Coranto telling Warren just how much space he has to take the lead, which is great. Be the eyes and ears. He's been new at the third base side. We typically see Bob Hoffer over there, but Bob spending more time with the pitchers in between innings, which is a great addition. Great value add for the pitchers. To have Coach Hoff in their ear in between innings and getting them ready for the upcoming innings.
The mound visit here.
Yeah. So 2 ball, 1 strike for Bertone. Westwood gonna try and get Chase over to third. If you can get Chase over to third with no outs or 1 out, you got some options you can use when it comes to the squeeze, safety squeeze. If you got a hitter that can put it in play, get it to the outfield. It's all different situations for different players and whatnot, but Bertone, a guy who can put the ball in play and always great with the bat in his hand. That's why he's junior captain for the Wolverines. And Hasselbeck gets his swing and miss there for the second strike. So 2 balls, 2 strikes for Bertone, no outs. Warren on second. Wolverines looking to advance him. That ball is in play, heading towards second. Throw to first is in time, but Warren makes his way to third. So a productive play for Bertone, able to advance Warren to third with 1 out. You got Brendan Senjik coming to the plate, who's a guy who can do exactly what you need, put it in play, keep an eye out. Do we see a safety squeeze? We've seen 3 hitters, 4 hitters do that for head coach Brian Whalen in the past, so it could be that kind of game with the pitching we've seen so far today. It's a first pitch strike for Hassenfis.
And Morgan, the sun's starting to come out here. And that's going to be hard for the pitchers, though, because that sun is right on our backs.
Yep. Gets a nice curveball there, gets Senjik to chase. So you get ahead early. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. That's high. Good eye there by Senjik. Hold on that one. That's how you got to battle your way back in accounts. Close eye, foul off the ones that are close. But you don't want to chase on that 0-2 pitch. That's what the pitcher's trying to do. And another pitch there, curveball outside. So good job by Senjik to battle to an even count. That's a curveball just inside. So after an 0-2 count, we now have a full count for Senjik with Warren at third base, 1 out. Gets this one in play. Warren stays on third to throw to first in time. So great play by the shortstop, Vinny Menendez. He got Warren to hold on third, through to first, gets Senjik in time and kept Warren there without coming across the plate. So Wolverine's going to have to rely on Denny Leahy to try and get Warren across. Denny Leahy grounded out to third base his last at-bat in the first inning. It's a first pitch strike. Gets a end of the bat on that one, running down the first line, and he's going to get on, and Warren is going to come across, get the Wolverines on the board 1-0. So a well-placed ball by Leahy, got off the top of the back, it was a chopper, forced the third baseman to run in and try and get a hand on that, and able to get to first safely, and Wolverines get on the board 1-0. So the small ball played off, checking in on first, back safely. It's a good job by Bertone, got Warren over to third base after Warren stole second. So Coach Whalen got to be very happy with Chase Warren. Gets the on with a single, steals second. You know, it was heads-up play to get over to third. It was also probably the smart play to stay on third when that ball was hit to the shortstop, Menendez. I think Menendez, pretty good hands. He could have got Warren in time if he threw that home. But a great job by the freshman.
And now you have to imagine with Luke Chandler on the mound, this guy's a big hitter. You have to imagine with 2 outs, coach is going to want him to swing. And swing there for strike 2. But, you know, we've seen Luke Chandler big hits, and hey, you know, this is your chance where you could swing, you know, see maybe you can get another one. But right now, this is going to be a low-scoring game.
He's got the home run power, but it's an 0-2 pitch, so probably going to see something off speed. He's going to fastball outside, catches the outside corner for strike 3. After 3 innings, Westwood on the board. Westwood 1, King Philip 0.
There's magic associated with high school sports that's hard to quantify. Legends are born.
And they put it in the back of the net.
Memories are made. And smiles come across our faces. These are the moments we talk about forever. They become part of our history. They define us. At Arch Orthodontics, we know how important it is to engage with our community, how critical it is to empower these defining moments. And in a sense, we define our community too. We build confidence. We make the smiles that light up the field, the rink, the gym, and the court. And we do it with a dedication to excellence, just like our athletes who inspire us every time they put on a Westwood uniform.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Cadillac of Norwood, where luxury meets performance, and Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back, folks. Kicking off the top of the 4th. We've got a great pitching battle between Chandler and Hassenfis. Leading off for King Philip is, don't know who it is. I think it is Tommy Gately. The ball in play. Sendrick gets a glove on it. A throw, and he's safe. So that's Drew Herlin. That is Herlin who hit that over to Sendrick. Sendrick just a second behind. It was a great play. I mean, to work across his body, get a glove on it. It's a long throw. Herlin able to beat it out. So Herlin on with no outs. Showing bunt, and it gets on the field. Bertone able to get the out at first, so a productive play there by Gately. Put the bunt down, and he gets Herlin over to second. So some small ball for King Philip as well, and that's the kind of game when you have pitchers that are dialed in, like Chandler and Hassenfis, you're going to see a lot of the bunts to get runners over to second. It's a ball inside. 1-0 pitch. That gets past Donegan. Donegan looks to third and holds on it. As Brunlin is now on third with 1 out.
Now you're in a similar position that you were just
Yeah.
half an inning ago when you had Chase Warren on third. Now you have a runner on third with 1 out. And
Exactly.
how do you get out of this situation?
That's a chopper. Senjik gonna get the glove on it. Breslin gonna score. And a tie game, 1-1. Or Hurlin, excuse me. Hurlin gets across the plate for King Philip to tie it up 1 apiece.
Got to give credit to King Philip, though. Way to, get some bats on the ball and, tie this back up.
Yeah, that was a close play at first. I mean, from our angle, it looked like Senjik got him in time. I don't know if end came off the bag, but sharp hit ball to Leahy. He's going to throw it on to end, and Wolverines out of the inning. So King Philip able to come across to tie it up. And after 4.5, we are tied at 1 apiece. Drew Donegan coming to the plate for the Wolverines. Lead off here in the bottom of the 4th. We are tied up at 1. We've had a great game so far. Great pitching matchup between Hassenfist and Luke Chandler. First pitch, catch the outside corner for strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Donegan doing a good job so far, playing behind the dish. Gets a bat on that one towards first. First baseman goes up to get that one. Took a high bounce. Able to jump up and get that one, keep it in front of him, touch the bag for the first out.
And Morgan, we talked about it earlier in the game, but now this is where we're going to really have to start keeping an eye on it. Pitch counts. We've seen both Chandler and Hasselfuss, get into these, a couple patters where they, get 5-6 pitches, and a couple batters where they get 1 like that, 1 or 2 like that right there. But that's where we're going to have to keep an eye on it, see who can stay fresh.
So what I've seen the last couple weeks is some great pitching from the Wolverines guys you haven't really seen. So Leahy, didn't pitch many times last year. He's been doing a good job so far this year. Petrus, freshman, sharp hit ball goes to the right side of the infield for Jack N. He's going to get on base. So nice job there by the first baseman, senior first baseman, gets on base with a single. But the pitching for the Wolverines has been great so far. Petrus, freshman, looked great versus Hopkinton. He pitched like 3 innings. They got a lot of options where that was one of the question marks coming into the season was depth. We knew that Chandler and Hunt were going to be 1-2. Guys who were studs. Charlie Martin, a guy that I don't see today. He's been a guy that will go in and pitch, throw some off speed. Strike called there. So 1-1 count.
Yeah, we saw Charlie Martin a lot, though, in the last season, especially come in for relief for Elliott Harris, TVL MVP.
Yep.
But he's one of those guys who I think, I'm sure you got to see. Right now I'm looking over. I don't really see any bullpen activity from Westwood, but our angle isn't that great either.
Got to think Leahy would be the guy coming in for relief. Longo possibly. And with Westwood playing right back at it on Friday, you got to imagine Hunt's going to be starting on Friday versus Walpole. That's going to be a great matchup. A rematch of last year's Elite 8. Longo fouls that off on the third base line.
What I like out of Westwood is we're starting to make more contact. First 2 innings, we really didn't have much contact on the bats here. And Westwood's starting to get a better feel for this pitcher, starting to get a better feel. Same with King Philip. They're getting a better feel for Chandler too. But, understanding where they're going to throw and where you got to hit.
They're doing a good job making them throw pitches. And ultimately you want to get into the bullpen. You want to start seeing some of the relievers.
Yep.
And, they're doing a good job when you're fouling off pitches like this and you're putting some in play and also patient where you need to be. It's good baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's going to be a ball high. Good job by Longo, able to get the count full. He's got End on first, 1 out. Looking to advance End to second. And swing and miss, so a nice inside fastball there by Hassenfist, gets the strikeout. That's his 5th strikeout of the game. Gets the second out for King Philip. Brady Dumais coming to the plate for the Wolverines. It's the first pitch ball. Brady had a nice play in the outfield, tracking down a really high fly ball on the line, able to run it down. Had to go about 40 yards, got under it, and got the nice out. And it's a strike called. It looked a little bit outside, but strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back-to-back strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strike count for Dumais, the left fielder for the Wolverines. He's got End on first base. We've got 2 outs here on the bottom of the 4th. Curveball, strike 3. So the 6th strikeout for Hassenfist. Gets the 3rd out, the bottom of the 4th, and we're on our way to the 5th inning. So after 4 innings, 1-1, Westwood 1, King Philip 1.
There's magic associated with high school sports that's hard to quantify. Legends are born.
And they put it in the back of the net.
Memories are made. And smiles come across our faces. These are the moments we talk about forever. They become part of our history. They define us. At Arch Orthodontics, we know how important it is to engage with our community, how critical it is to empower these defining moments. And in a sense, we define our community too. We build confidence. We make the smiles that light up the field, the rink, the gym, and the court. And we do it with a dedication to excellence, just like our athletes who inspire us every time they put on a Westwood uniform.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Cadillac of Norwood, where luxury meets performance, and Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Coming to the plate for King Philip is Leo Dowling. Leo is the catcher. Fouled left field his last at-bat. That was the one that Dumais chased down. Got to give a shout out to the Game Changer app. It's great. I just opened it up. Got the names, players, and the stats so far through the game. So Hassenfist up to 7 strikeouts, so I was 1 short of that. Chandler with 3 strikeouts. It's an inside pitch. A 1 ball, 1 strike for Chandler. Chandler's been sharp. Both pitchers been sharp. Only giving up 1 run apiece. Hassenfist 7 strikeouts. Chandler 3 strikeouts. It's a low ball. A 2-1 count. Great spot to watch a baseball game, though, Evan. Just to be able to stand behind home plate. Have a little elevation. Oh, great pitch there by Chandler.
Got a good view. Can see where the pitch is going. Get an idea of what the pitcher's throwing. And we're out in left center or left field, I should say. It's a little more difficult.
Oh, Chandler with a beautiful curveball gets the strike 3 call. I knew it. It was probably a little early before, but I knew that was the strike zone. And what a pitch there by Chandler. Gets Dowling for the strikeout. The first out here in the top of the 5th.
I will say 2 things both these pitchers have been doing really great is they've been using that outside zone. This umpire, he's calling a bit of a bigger strike zone than maybe what another umpire might call, but as a result, both these pitchers have done a really good job of working that outside zone. As you see, ball 1 there hey, let's use that outside to our advantage. If you're going to call it a strike, I'm going to use it.
Yeah. That's a well-hit ball heading towards the gap in left center, and it lands. Making his way to second base is Menendez with a 1-out double. A well-hit ball, landed in the gap, and gets to second base standing up.
What a hit.
That was the best hit ball we've seen so far today.
Right where you wanted it, right in that left center gap. And
so Menendez, the shortstop, on at second. Brady Herlin up at the plate. That goes just over his head. Great job by Donegan to make sure that didn't get to the backstop. A test here for the Wolverines. They got a runner on second, 1 out. That ball gets to the backstop. Menendez is going to get to third.
now you're back in a similar situation where we were just an inning ago. Runner on third, 1 out. You know, got to see if you can prevent a score here. This is where King Philip can capitalize.
I see some action in the bullpen. It actually looks like Martin. So Martin is here. He is warming up in the bullpen.
We're getting a mound visit right now from Coach Whalen. Or is that
looks like Caranto.
Caranto, excuse me. But
So we gave Coach Caranto a shout out during the winter wrap. He was the JV hockey coach, and he also helped out with the varsity. He was at 5 practices a week at 5 a.m. So he was getting up, and mind you, he's coaching his kids on the weekend too. I can't tell you how difficult that is. The drive to Canton is not an easy one.
no.
It's a good 25 minute drive. You're going back roads, a lot of lights and whatnot, and you're doing that all before the start of the day. You basically got to be in bed by 8 p.m. if you're disciplined enough, which I'm sure he is far more disciplined than I ever was as a coach, but it was not easy waking up that early, 3 days a week. I can't imagine 5. So it looks like we have a pinch. I don't know what's going on. Nope, it's still have Herlin in there.
Waiting on
So we are back in play, so 2 balls, no strikes. Herlin. We got Menendez on third, 1 out. That ball is popped up, so good break for the Wolverines. They get the out, get the second out, so huge play there to get two outs. Much needed, especially with the runner on runner on third with 1 out.
yeah, exactly. You said that's what you need there. You want to prevent any ground balls, because if there's a ground ball and it's with 1 out and you get out at first, doesn't matter. That's still a sacrifice RBI, and you got a point on the board.
Oh, Donegan, great job staying in front of that. First pitch curveball by Chandler there. Top of the order up for King Philip, Alex Lefty, left fielder. Chopper goes over the head of Chandler. Leahy goes on to first and safe. But King Philip gets Menendez across the board to go up 2-1 with a well-placed chopper. Went over the head of Chandler. And then the throw by Leahy not in time. Tough play to make.
Yep.
Especially when you get the leadoff hitter running down the first baseline.
We were talking about it earlier. It didn't quite hit the lip of that mound, but it took a bounce. It took a King Philip bounce there, and
Checking in on first, lefty back safe.
had a lucky bounce for them. Got over the head of Chandler and just fell right in that gap between the pitcher's mound and second. And
Checking back again, and he's got him. So picked off at first base for the 3rd out to end the top of the 5th. So Chase Warren going to kick it off for the Wolverines. He singled in his first at-bat. Impressive start for his freshman season. So was able to steal second base, advanced to third, and then came across the plate on an error to get the Wolverines on the board 1-0. Now the Wolverines in a 2-1 deficit, looking to get the answer. It's a bat on that one, tracking towards short. Onto first in time. Nice play there by Menendez to get the first out, the leadoff out. Got Matt Gillis to our left, future color commentator for Westwood Media Center games. We'll keep working on it.
Yeah.
Maybe football? What do you think? What do you thought? Hockey? Maybe hockey. Hockey. We'll get him for hockey. Definitely some hockey. John Bertone up for the Wolverines. That's sharply hit down the third base line. Great play by the third base. Throw on to first. And a one hop, which is going to get Bertone on first. So great hit by Bertone. A very nice play by the third base. The throw was just a little bit off, or unable to be played by the first baseman. Gets Bertone on with one out.
Yeah, like you said, great play by the third baseman. Reached out and got that, prevented that from going into the outfield, and kept Bertone on first. But
this is where Bertone gets his money's worth. He gets the pitchers and catchers' attention. He's got enough speed to certainly steal. He's not the fastest guy on the team, but he'll take big secondary leads. He'll, certainly take quick leads like that. And that's a sharp hit ball, but looks like a double play ball. Out at second, out at first for the double play. So some great defense there by King Philip to get out of the inning with a quick double play and a very quick 1-2-3 inning. So after 5 innings, King Philip 2, Westwood 1.
There's magic associated with high school sports that's hard to quantify. Legends are born.
And they put it in the back of the net.
Memories are made. And smiles come across our faces. These are the moments we talk about forever. They become part of our history. They define us. At Arch Orthodontics, we know how important it is to engage with our community, how critical it is to empower these defining moments. And in a sense, we define our community too. We build confidence. We make the smiles that light up the field, the rink, the gym, and the court. And we do it with a dedication to excellence, just like our athletes who inspire us every time they put on a Westwood uniform.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Cadillac of Norwood, where luxury meets performance, and Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back, folks. Top of the 6 here. King Philip up 2-1. Chandler back on the mound for the Wolverines. He's been fantastic. He's had 4 strikeouts, had some great plays in the field by the Wolverines. King Philip, every bit as impressive. They just got out of that last, the bottom of the 5th with a very impressive double play. And some great pitching by Cam Hassifis and Coach Gillis. His father, Norwood hockey legend, Billy Hassifis, who is the grandfather of Peter Lavalette.
Oh, yeah?
So legendary hockey family in Norwood. Got 2 Hassifis. We got Hassenfuss, we got Cam's dad and uncle off to the right-hand side. And we're swapping some great Norwood hockey stories earlier. Richie Hebner played with them on the 1965 team. Another legend, Paul Angelo, Angie's with the old Colonial Cafe. Blaine Moss was the captain. He was a terrific hockey player. And that's a 4-pitch walk. Going to be on first for Johnny Prater. So Johnny Prater gets the leadoff walk. Yeah, so Tommy Gately. Tommy Gately was the guy who plated the second run for King Philip to take the 2-1 lead. And that's a sharp hit ball to Senjik. Senjik on to Leahy, out at second, and then safe at first. I think he would have potentially got it if Senjik just tapped the bag himself, but regardless, they got the lead run, or the lead runner, out at second, 1 out.
Senjik had a bit of a bobble there too. He
Yeah.
actually tossed the ball back up to himself, but got it in time to get the out at second. Just a little late on that throw to first, but still got the out, and that's really all you can ask for.
So that was Herlin. Now this is Tommy Gately, and that one's fouled.
Did not hit my car. We are good. Do not need to pay Safe Flight any more money. So.
Yeah, I made sure. I parked up at the bean farm.
I'm a little more risky. I like to...
Oh, great pitch there by Chandler. Gets a check swing strike. So gets ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes here early.
I like to gamble with fate a little bit when it comes to...
Yeah, I like that feeling too, where you're like a little gambler.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you got to take a little risk.
Yeah, Mohegan Sun's too far away. Sometimes I just like to park close to baseball fields and see how close balls can come without hitting my car.
Yeah. Encore is...
It's a fun game, yes.
Encore's a little expensive for me, so...
Yes, Encore is a little expensive. You can lose money very quickly there. Checking in on first, Wolverines were able to get the pickoff out the bottom of the, or the top of the 5th last inning, and the inning. Keep an eye on that. They do. Chandler's throwing lobs over to first, and he's throwing fastball. Fastballs have been the more recent throws over to first. So he's throwing 3 in a row, which
keep on
love
the toes.
the gamesmanship, absolutely. And a great located curveball just outside. That was a great 2-strike pitch, just missed. Tommy Gately, he had a strikeout in the first inning, or second inning. Great stop there by Donning, and that was a painful one. It sounded like it hit something other than the chest protector.
Yep. But that's a way to stay in there, take a hit.
If there was a guy who could take it, he's got the muscles to take it. If I did it, I might be on my way to Newton Wellesley right now.
Also, that keeps the runner at first.
Absolutely, and that's a nice pitch there. Gets the strikeout looking. Chandler, beautiful pitch there, and a big out to get the Wolverines' second out. Yeah, if I took that bouncer, I probably wouldn't be the same person after. Runner's going, throw is behind. Checking in though on the tag, we'll see. Yep, a safe call. So Herlin able to make his way to second base with 2 outs. So Aiden Astorino looking to get Herlin across the plate. Some insurance runs. Beautiful pitch there by Chandler. That curveball has been money.
It cuts late, and that's hard to hit. You think it's coming outside, it's going to force you to either watch it, or
you think it's going to be inside, or if not, maybe catch a piece of you, and it has a hard break. And another one, but that one hits the dirt. Another great job by Donegan. For a guy that plays catcher not frequently, he's doing a terrific job.
Yeah, you have to give credit to the 2 captains here today, Bertone and Donegan. They swap positions. They, step up where they're needed, and what a great way to lead by example.
Behind Astorino. Another great play by Donegan.
Now we still have Chandler in late here, and I don't see much bullpen activity now, but we did see Martin warming up earlier, so I can imagine coming in maybe in the 7th here to close it out. But or you mentioned late.
Beautiful pitch, gets the second strike. Gonna create a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another curveball thrown when you're behind the count. He's been confident with that curveball today, throwing it for strikes. And that ball is in the dirt, and it's gonna be ball 4. But he had a runner at second, so it was a smart pitch to throw. First base was open, kind of like what they were thinking there. He's gonna bring Kevin Hine to the plate. Chandler struck him out in the second inning. Might get a mound visit. Yep, we are.
I wonder.
Some fond memories with Coach Whalen, Coach Gillis at the middle school. He used to have WEI on the radio in between classes. Patriot rules used to be the cadence to, after all the ducklings were in line, to get out and get on the floor, start running around. So this is going to be, it looks like Chandler might stay. I don't see anyone warming up, so it's more of a strategic conversation. Nope, so they are going to swap Chandler out for Martin. A great day by Luke Chandler. He was terrific. The future Husson Eagle. very sharp on the mound. We're going to see Charlie Martin, senior for the Wolverines. Typically see him at second base.
And we've seen him actually come in for a few relief pitches before, especially last year. I believe during that actual Ashland win, I believe he actually was the relief pitcher during those innings, or at least for a couple of them. But you know, Charlie Martin, normally at second, but he's a good relief pitcher, and
locates it well. He's got a sharp curveball too. So his curveball not as fast miles power wise as Chandler's. Chandler's got more of that slider, but Martin's got the 12.6, which with the the drop off between the fastball, it's a great pitch.
Yep.
Turned out to be an absolutely spectacular day. Wolverines are going to open up to the boys lacrosse in the Chowder Cup today. So they will be playing today. Norwell was always a tough team. They won the state championship 2 years ago for D3, I believe over Medfield, which you saw the Medfield lacrosse versus Westwood the other night.
Yep.
The face-off kid, unbelievable. All-American last year as a junior, and he picked up right where he left off. Terrific. I think he was outstanding. But some great play by Westwood as well. You know, Liam Williams looks like Michael Jordan when he's doing the jump shot. He jumps up to create some space, and he was picking corners. It was unbelievable.
We've seen him do that on many occasions for Westwood. He has a good jump shot. The Williams brothers, what a duo for the Westwood boys lacrosse, and they're having a good season right now.
They
are. I don't know the record off the top of my head, but I know
they have 2 losses. I think 4 or 5-2, and they lost to Walpole by a goal. Walpole right now, I believe, is a top 10 team.
Yep.
They haven't lost to anyone, and Walpole beat CM.
Yep.
So Walpole is a wagon this year.
Yep.
And Westwood hung tough.
Yep.
And these are games that are going to make you better for what are the most important games, which are the postseason.
Westwood across all their sports this season are having good seasons here in the spring.
Yeah.
You know,
Girls across, unbelievable start for them. They're playing the very, very best. They beat Concord Carlisle last week. They beat Medfield. They got the #1 team in New Hampshire coming up this weekend in Bishop Girton. They have a big game, I believe, Thursday? Duxbury. So Duxbury, who's always a top team in this state. Duxbury, I believe, top 20. They're gonna play Moses Brown, top team in Rhode Island. And then towards the end of the season, they're gonna play #2 and #1. Notre Dame #1, #2 is Lincoln Sudbury. So what a schedule, and it was put together perfectly too. So a lot of them are back-to-backs, but they're back-to-back with a TVL game, which has somewhat been cruise control for Westwood. And that's a sharp hit ball to center field. That is trouble, and it's going to land just before the warning track. One run is going to score. Second run is going to score, and into third base safely with a triple is Kevin Heine. What a great hit ball there. My goodness, hit it all the way basically to the warning track. Scores 2 runs there to put King Philip up 4-1. So 2 outs with Hine at third base. Leo Dowling up at the plate. He hits that one towards right field. Longo going to get under it, make the catch, get out of the top of the 6th inning. So 2 runs scored there, put King Philip up 4-1 on Westwood. Wolverines coming up to the plate for their chance here at the bottom of the 6th. Danny Leahy leading it off for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 runs were plated in the top half of the inning by King Philip to go up 4-1. So Wolverines looking to chip away at that. They have 2 innings to do it. First pitch fouled off to the backstop. So what a beautiful field on a beautiful day. And a great game we've seen here so far between King Philip and Westwood. 1 ball, 1 strike count for Leahy. He's been terrific hitter for the Wolverines so far this year. Also seen him pitch as well. He catches the outside part of the strike zone, so 1 ball, 2 strikes for Leahy. A curve ball, great job laying off that. And one thing, Coach, that is very impressive with the spring coaches is the scheduling and the non-league games. Doing a great job scheduling some great opponents. Oh, that's a chopper hit down the third base line. It is fair. The throw on to first is in time. And a great play there by the third baseman, number 22, to get the first out. But, I mean, we talked about the girls lacrosse schedule, that non-league schedule. I mean, that is probably tops in the country when it comes to playing the best of the best. And then boys lacrosse, playing in the Chowder Cup. They're playing Norwell today. They got Scituate on the, or it all depends. Oh, that's a great hit towards the right field gap. And able to get under it. Wow. Chandler hit that a mile. And a nice play there by the right fielder for King Philip to get the second out. Looks like Brady Hurlin. Well, boys lacrosse going to be playing in the Chowder Cup. If they win, you basically will play the winner of the team in the next bracket. But they got a tough one right off the bat. Norwell. They did beat them last year, though.
Yep.
Which was one of the best wins of the season. We talked to head coach Todd Zaherk about that one, and he said that was certainly a point in the season where they were really getting a groove and building some confidence. Donegan up at the plate with 2 outs. He's done a great job catching today. We don't see it too often, and that's a well-hit ball to right field, but well-positioned there. Is Hurlin to get the third out. So 1, 2, 3, bottom of the 6th. And we are still at 4-1 King Philip.
There's magic associated with high school sports that's hard to quantify. Legends are born.
And they put it in the back of the net.
Memories are made. And smiles come across our faces. These are the moments we talk about forever. They become part of our history. They define us. At Arch Orthodontics, we know how important it is to engage with our community, how critical it is to empower these defining moments. And in a sense, we define our community too. We build confidence. We make the smiles that light up the field, the rink, the gym, and the court. And we do it with a dedication to excellence, just like our athletes who inspire us every time they put on a Westwood uniform.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Cadillac of Norwood, where luxury meets performance, and Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
King Philip leading off here, Vinny Menendez. He's had a couple hits, 2 for 2 so far today. Very productive player for King Philip. A sharp hit ball to short. Sendrick gets a glove on it. On to first in time, so great play there by the sophomore shortstop to get the first out.
One thing you gotta give Sendrick is he's all game he is not let those balls get by him.
Those are not easy either.
No, I mean he's making sure he's not causing any errors. He's getting it, setting his feet, making sure he's getting in front of it and getting the throw. And that time, yeah, he bobbled a little bit, but he got it there just in time.
Yeah, they haven't been like hit directly at him either. He's had to move his feet to get to them and then have to make a tough throw. And he's answered the bell. Drew Donegan was talking about him on the podcast. They said he's one of the surest hands you'll see. So 1 ball, 1 strike count, 1 out for Brady Hurlin. Brady was the right fielder who tracked down that sharply hit ball by Chandler. A nice pitch there by Martin. Gets a swing and miss for the second strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, sharp curveball. That's the one that you're going to see players chasing because that starts in the strike zone, and that one just fell right off. We got a full count. Fouled that one off. It's going to get over the netting. Three balls, 2 strikes. Brady Hurlin fouls this one off to the right side. A nice battle going on here. He's fouling off on both sides of the field. Take going with the pitch. Three balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. That's a great curveball. Ball in play. Bertone gets a glove on it. Throw onto first in time, and what a one-hopper catch there by End at first base to squeeze it and get the out. That's a long throw from Bertone, but if you're going to have someone throw it, someone who's got the arm of a catcher is a good one. And he threw an absolute heater to first, had a one-hop End with a nice play to keep the foot on the bag and squeeze the ball just in time to get the second out. The leadoff hitter up at the plate, Alex Lufty. The left fielder for King Philip. That one inside, fouled down the right side. A 1 ball, 1 strike count. Martin threw a couple curveballs on the 3-2 count. You know, a lot of confidence in that curveball with placement. But he does a good job getting players out. You know, he's not going to have the overpowering fastball. He's not going to throw at 85, you know, high 80s like you'll see like a Chandler. And a curveball there, fouled off. But he gets the balls in play. He throws for strikes. Obviously seeing curveballs for strikes. There was another one we saw there. And King Philip doing a good job with all these foul balls. They're trying to track down balls. They had to get a ball from the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Martin looking to get the Wolverines out of the inning, and bats in their hands for the bottom of the 7th. That was a low pitch. So deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That is sharp hit ball down the right side of the infield, gets into the outfield. Longo gonna track it down for a 2-out single by Alex Lufty. So Lufty on board with 2 outs. Johnny Prater coming to the plate. And it looks like we might get a pinch runner for Lufty. We are.
13.
So 13 coming in to pinch run for Lufty. Let's see if we can get a name. #13 is Ryan Burns. Swing and miss. Nice curveball there by Martin. Gets Prater to swing and miss on it. See what they do with Burns at first if he's a runner. Trying to get into scoring position. He is going. Throw by Donegan is off, goes into center field, but good backup there by Warren. And that's Wayland baseball there is players knowing where they need to be as a backup. So that's a great play by Warren. It's an underrated play. You know, to have him come in there, it kept that runner at second.
Yep.
It's probably one of the most frequent things you'll see is when a ball goes into center field, you see the second, you know, the guy at second work his way to third. And that's a sharp hit ball. Warren there at center field, going to make the catch to get Westwood out of the inning. So Westwood now going to have bats, their last at bat, looking to tie it up here in Bottom of the 7th inning. So after 6.5, King Philip 4, Westwood 1. Wolverines coming up to the plate for their last at-bats. Kim Hassenfist back out there for King Philip, looking to get a complete game win for the efforts. First pitch strike. That ball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Up next for the Wolverines, looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter. Sean Blomquist. That's off the end of the bat, but well played by the first baseman. King Philip going to hop on the bag for the first out. So Sean Blomquist going to bat for Chase Longo. Sean Blomquist, the MVP of the TVL Large for hockey. A great year. And a historical season for the Wolverines. 42 years of making the state tournament. Tri-Valley League TVL Large champs, co-champs, first time since 2018. Great year for the hockey program. And an overtime win versus King Philip. First pitch inside strike. It was a well-positioned pitch there. Catch the inside of the strike zone. Hassenfist has been very impressive today. That one is low. Even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. And that catches the outside part of the strike zone. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's been a consistent call today. You know, someone big strikes on the outside. It's been that way for both teams. And that is outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Blomquist. Yeah, strike 3 looking. So Hassenfist with the strikeout. We'll see if we can get a count on how many strikeouts. I believe he's at 9. Confirm.
What a game by Hassenfist. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, pitching here, 2 outs left, 1 out to go, and
8 strikeouts for Hassenfist.
bottom of the 7th, looking to complete the game. And you know, like you mentioned, that Norwood connection there.
Yeah. Got his uncle here watching as well with his dad. Pretty cool. I said you might see his other uncle, Peter Lavalette, get some looks potentially for the Bruins vacancy. We'll see. Proven coach, won a Stanley Cup with Carolina, has taken other teams to the Stanley Cup. It's a ball high. And he took Philly to the Stanley Cup, lost on that. He took Nashville to the Stanley Cup as well. 1 ball, 2 strike count outside. It's going to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. And that's going to be strike 3, and that is going to do it here at Zavarian. Impressive day by Cam. Hassenfist gets the complete game win, 4-1 over the Westwood Wolverines non-league matchup. So that is going to do it here, folks. Thanks for watching. King Philip 4-1 winners over the Wolverines. See you soon and see you on the next one.